So I was really, really fortunate in that I was able to start traveling in high school. I talk about leaving Chattanooga in 2006. I was 16 and started going to a traveling school and traveling for the purpose of training, specifically for freestyle kayaking. Going around to different competitions and all that kind of stuff. And I was part of a small program. There were like 15 other kids that traveled around with our teachers. I was able to do that, and I would keep traveling in the summers. For me, my last 2 years of high school was spent, exclusively training for freestyle kayaking and trying to get onto the competition circuit and doing that. When it got time to graduate high school and look at what was next, university didn't really make very much sense for me.
Words that I say, downtown the lights out, but we choose to stay.
Really particularly interested in doing film and photo and photography kind of throughout. It's easy to be really inspired to do that when you're traveling to like beautiful places and being outdoors every day. I don't think I really knew it at the time, but something that's definitely kind of pushed me towards where I am now was being in China when we were paddling on the Great Bend section of the Yangtze. We produced a film called Facing East that was kind of pitched as like, this is a battle we lost, and this is what we are losing. So it was really showing it wasn't a film in any way aimed at trying to save something, because we already knew that it was gone. We did it in the United States, the 40s, 50s, 60s. We were putting up hundreds and hundreds of dams. It's certainly hard for us coming in as like white filmmakers from the United States. It's really hard to come in and be like, hey, you know what, China, like you shouldn't build dams. Because they're like, well, you guys did. And it's like, that's a decently hard point to refute, right? That was kind of from 16 really to probably like 22, was probably spent mostly kayaking, doing film projects, traveling every day was living to go kayaking for sure. I guess it was when I was 22, my sister and I, it was actually the last election, so it's 4 years ago. We were kind of horrified. We'd been kind of aware of climate and environmental causes, just kind of we were interested in it and kind of plugged into it, for me through kayaking. It was kind of horrifying watching the politicking going on around energy and climate change in particular in the last election. We ended up planning out this 3-week-long road trip that we took to go to different extraction communities and different communities that had either some sort of energy infrastructure issue, so coal mining communities. We visited, at the time, the Keystone Pipeline was a really big issue, so we actually went down and met with some of the folks that were organizing against it in Texas, some of the tar sands blockade groups. We went to the fracking, the oil fields in North Dakota, where fracking has just been an insane boom. Kind of all over the country, meeting and connecting with folks. And that was back when we ended that at the Forward on Climate rally, which was, at the time, it was the biggest climate rally that had ever happened. I think it was 200,000 folks in Washington, D.C. So we did that whole trip and then ended at the Forward on Climate rally. I frequently say that was probably the most influential, everywhere we were traveling, kind of like so-called developing nations, right? They're looking at an energy crunch. So I'm the program coordinator for our Empower program. I'll back up a little bit. Green Space's mission is to advance the sustainability of living, working, and building in Chattanooga and the region. And so we kind of break our programming out on that living, working, and building, kind of those different umbrellas. And so Empower, the program that I am the program coordinator for, is under our living umbrella. And so we do energy education communities. So what that means is that we're going in and we teach energy workshops on. So there's like a 1-hour basic energy workshop that is really simple, low cost and no cost things that people can do to reduce their utility bills. And in the neighborhoods that we work in, which is pretty much East Lake, East Chattanooga, Highland Park, Ridgedale, and now Alton Park. We're expanding into Alton Park this year. Those neighborhoods use about 43% more energy per square foot to power their homes than the average home in Chattanooga. And that's in the winter months when it's at its peak difference. But so like we're routinely hearing like in the summertime utility bills like $200, $300, $400. Wintertime is when it's really bad. Where we hear for $600, $700, $800 utility bills. We've heard a $1,200 utility bill in 1 month. So seeing astronomically high energy bills and trying to kind of get to the problem with that and fix it for folks.
We don't know where we're going, but we're on the run. We don't know where the road ends, but we're having fun. We're running scared, running free.